To me, it was weird because to me, if you have somebody from the actual community,
Who
who
knows?
who's gonna work with them best from people who actually knows the people them in the community,
Right.
Right.
Because if I see you in the community and I know you in the community, I will trust you more than likely compared to a complete stranger.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how for myself it worked out.
Okay.
Because I got to work in my community, like
Nice.
compared to others in that era, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it started off there. I worked as a youth worker, and then time went on. I did other things, but I always went back to my community every summer for the last like 20 years.
Okay.
Going to the barbecue, showing support, even if I'm not the one actually doing it. I show some support somehow by providing donations or just being there as a person from the community.
Your
doing what
community
I
will
do.
appreciate you for
Right.
that.
Right. So
Respect.
that's where it started. And as time went on, I was in the streets still. I did a lot of crazy stuff back in the days. But I'm a father of 3.
Right.
And as time went on, I wanted to do more than what they were visually seeing.
The Podical sound.
Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Not your average Joseph. Marvelous.
It's ridiculously funny.
What's up? I'm Marvelous.
And I'm not your average Joseph.
And we are the Podical Sons. Let's start the show. Like, comment, subscribe to all of the above. All streaming platforms possible, podicalsons.com. You hear us, you see us, YouTube, what's good? And let's get into it today. Today we have a guest with us. We got Sling. Tell the people about you and give them a little taste of preview and stuff of who you be.
I go by Sling Dadz. A lot of people know me. I used to rap back in the days, doing music. I'm a community worker, doing a lot of things in the community, providing resources and services. And yeah, I do my thing,
That's what's up. That's what's up. He's here to survive the shit Smooth says. So let's get into some things and stuff, whatever. I'm going to start with the polls of the week. We love for you to jump in and stuff and give us your input on them as well. First poll of the week is it right to pay children for good grades? How you feel about that? 75% of people said no.
No. I think you should reward them, but paying them cash?
Yeah.
Nah. I think
incentives is good.
Incentives would be definitely good. People should be rewarded for doing good things.
So, what if you did pay your children?
What?
Like how would you think you would pay them? Would you pay them like $10 an A or $20 an A? Because we're in times of inflation now, so people move a little bit different.
If you're talking about cash, if I had to pay instead of giving an incentive, it depends which child, because I have 3 sons, right?
Okay.
And I would have to, as a father,
gauge it by the range.
Yeah, like I would look at it like in regards to what they would think is more of value to them at the moment and would be cool to take.
Yeah.
So, my first son, he's bigger. He's going into college though, so he would obviously get the most.
Nice, congrats.
Respect. And my second son, which he likes money, but it's like he doesn't really care the amount. So I would probably just give him something just to make him feel like, okay, I got
you got something.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't leave him out.
Right.
Yeah.
But then the last one now, I think he would be the one to get like the middle money in between the first one and what the second one would get.
So he knows about commerce. So he knows about the cash flow.
Well, he's a little advanced, even though he's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
you can't sleep on the younger ones.
Yeah, I can't sleep on them for sure.
What about you, Smooth? How you feel?
Yeah, you know what? I think the same way. Like it's good to incentivize them. I don't mind cash, but I wouldn't stick to that just alone, just to make it seem like that's the only type of reward that you could get for producing good grades. But mind you, I have a friend of the family's, my wife's family, and he would give his kids like crazy amounts for like just producing A's.
Yeah.
And they took on the challenge because
it's bread in their pockets.
It's bread in the pockets. So they would produce nothing but A's. And he said, you know what? At the end of the day,
He went broke.
he went broke, but he goes, I don't mind, because he looked at it as an investment, right? Like, I paid for them to get these grades. It was that motivation that they needed, and they took it upon themselves. They produced at the end of the day, right? Maybe some of them might have had other ways of getting that grade, but they produced at the end of the day, and he ended up rewarding them for it.
So let's say you had a child that they had lack of motivation for like grades and stuff like that, or for school and stuff in general. What would you use more the incentives? Like what incentives, how would you incentivize them to step their game up and stuff for decent grades?
Well, again, just the awarding, right? So if they have like a specific, like let's say, okay, they have like a specific rapper that they listen to.
Okay.
And we know like this rapper is coming in town like a specific time, right? I can say to himself, okay, listen, I know you really want that so-and-so is coming in town, like let's say December. Hear what?
If your report
that's around the time the report cards come up. If you got some good enough marks at that time of the report card, I spur on tickets. You know, we'll go together. We'll go together, or we'll pick one of your friends and we'll go and we'll enjoy the moment because you've earned it, right? Nice. And it's so there's something that now he's not looking at it as a chance to put money in his pocket, but a chance to have an experience, right? And it's a chance for you to provide that experience. So, like I said, it's not always the money that you can incentivize and you can do it with, but just even with their interests.
It's true. No, because I feel like there's some parents and stuff, like even some parents might be listening to this and they're like, well, how the hell do I go about it? Or what do I do? Give me a suggestion. Right. And that's a good suggestion and stuff, because it's leaning into their interests already. Right. So it's just basically like a bait and switch for them to say, this is what we're working with. Let me try this. Because I feel like even as adults, if the government said to you, you get no tickets, we'll send you $100 and stuff in your account. Right. Like a freebie, $100 and stuff. No parking tickets, no issues, no speeding tickets. A lot of people would change different how they drive on the roads.
Yeah.
So incentives, I feel like incentives of work, cash, dinero, money, I wouldn't really give to a kid. I'm working with the incentives like y'all.
Right.
Okay. So the next poll was, is long-term planning for the privilege? And 64% say yes. How you feel about that, Smooth? We'll start with you.
I always used to think about that, but I know some people who are, not privileged, but they've set a goal. They set goalposts in mind, and I've seen them achieve it. I've seen them fight through stuff, but they've never looked at their situation of not being privileged, something to stop them from their plans. So no, I wouldn't say that it's something that's left to the privileged.
Okay. Sling?
So long-term planning, I think it's good and bad, but I think for myself, I kind of move on that method.
So it is for the privileged?
Well, yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
I would agree, because really and truly, it looks like the way our lives has been set is like things are short-term in regards to how we move already in our lives.
Right.
We kind of move like for the now and not worrying about later. Yeah, not worrying about the later, right?
Right.
Other than the privilege, they have things that kind of set in place for them beforehand.
So the now is a nothing to them, but the later, well, I want to say they're more focused on enjoying the now, but the later is already taken care of.
Basically,
right.
I'm with you on that, whatever. So I would say like, yeah, it is for the privilege, because I look at it where you got mad amount of people and stuff that's living check to check, and price hikes, everything and stuff is slowly but surely going up. Not even gonna say slowly, I'm gonna say at a moderate speed going up. You know what I'm saying? And then
there's nothing slow about this.
Yeah, and ain't nothing slow about this. If bread before was like $3, now bread is about like $5.
Yeah.
And you're looking like this is a jump within 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it wasn't like a 50 cent raise, like, a 75. They just like, yo, we gonna take this. It's straight $2.
Right.
I look at it and stuff as where if you're more concerned about like treading water and surviving, long term is not even in your books. That's why I feel like when it comes to the hoods, a lot of the lotto tickets and stuff get bought up in the hoods because people have no other outs.
Mm.
That lotto ticket might possibly be their long-term planning.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And the funniest thing is even you saying that, even if people have that as their out, the tickets are not being, the winners are not being in those communities.
Facts.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Is
they're like in bumfuck nowhere somewhere, and you're looking like, I done bought $30 worth of my money. I could have put in the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I took a chance. It ain't pay off and stuff. And then not a lotto thing. You got to do it like twice a week for one, twice a week for another one. So it's kind of like that money does add up and does deplete from, I want to say, some people's income, household income.
Yeah.
A lot of people are winning online as well.
That is
Right.
true.
That's the new thing right now, right?
That is
Because
true.
the demographic, like you said, in the community, they'll be buying the tickets, but they're not winning in that location. And those are tickets that are be more spent.
Right. Right.
Oh, shit. Okay, man. So tell the people, man, this is all about you now. Let the people know a little bit more about you and stuff. How long have you been doing what you've been doing?
Well, I've been doing community work forever, to be honest with you.
Forever, give us a time, like a circa.
I think when I was around 17 years old, growing up at Jane and Trithui, for those who know Chicheway, that's where I grew up and stuff on the Jane Strip. I started to want to get into the work field and stuff like that. And at the time when TCHC was known as MTHA, they were hiring.
What does that stand for?
TCHC is like Toronto Community Housing Corporation.
Okay.
For those who don't know, it's like housing projects in the city, throughout the city. But back in the days, it was MTHA.
Okay.
So it was like Metro Toronto Housing Authority.
Okay.
So that's what it stood for back then. But I was hired to work with them as a youth worker at 17. But the funniest thing is when you were working with them at that time, you're not supposed to work in your particular own community. They would actually send you out to another Toronto housing community.
Gotcha.
Because there was like some conflict of interest or whatever the case may be.
I mean, well, you would favor your own hood, obviously.
It's fun. Don't mean to cut you, but it's funny that you mentioned that because when I was working at Chrysler on the auto line, the youth that was doing the job opposite to me, he just got through with, I think it was Peel police forcing. So he was saying, he wanted to do it from a long time, but he had to keep going to outside of his communities because the exact same thing that you said. Once you become a police officer, they don't let you patrol within your community. You gotta go like to like a different region to do it.
They have their conflicts of interest in regards to these things, and it's weird. But
pretty much.
Anyways, it worked out for me though.
It's funny to hear on that level, but to hear that it even goes as low as just like working with just the community that they even consider that even like a bothersome idea of conflict of interest.
To me, it was weird because to me, if you have somebody from the actual community,
who knows
who's gonna work with them best from people who actually knows the people them in the community,
right? Because if I see you in the community and I know you in the community, I will trust you more than likely compared to a complete stranger.
Yeah,
right.
So that's how for myself it worked out.
Okay.
Because I got to work in my community, like compared to others in that era, right? But it started off there. I worked as a youth worker, and then time went on. I did other things, but I always went back to my community every summer for the last like 20 years.
Okay.
Going to the barbecue, showing support, even if I'm not the one actually doing it. I show some support somehow by providing donations or just being there as a person from the community.
Your community will appreciate you for that.
Right. So
respect.
That's where it started. And as time went on, I was in the streets still. I did a lot of crazy stuff back in the days. But, I'm a father of 3.
Right.
And as time went on, I wanted to do more than what they were visually seeing.
Got it.
So I said, you know what? And for honestly, within myself, I wanted to change. Besides even what I just said, within myself, I wanted to change. But I still was like, tug of war.
Right.
I want to do something, but I still didn't find myself exactly of what I really, really wanted to do.
So what helped you get to that discovery moment?
So at one point, I had a conviction for a charge that I had when I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
And I wanted to do more with my life. So at the time I wanted to clean my record.
Okay.
So I was referred to go to an organization called John Howard Society. I'm not sure if you heard of it.
Never.
So basically they assist people in regards to cleaning their record. They do more, but that was one of the things that they actually do in regards to cleaning your record. And I got connected to them, and yeah, I ended up cleaning my record. But while I was in the process of that, there was a young lady that I met that was telling me that I have to write a letter to the parole board in order for me to clean my record. So there's like steps to it in regards to cleaning your record. So when I actually wrote my first draft letter, she read it and she said, "This is not good. You need to rewrite this, and you got to be more depth of what happened and how you feel and etc." So when I did all of that and I got through with my pardon, she asked me, "What do you really want to do?" And it just came out. Community.
Oh, so you were still in contact with her after that moment?
At that moment, I was still checking her at the office and stuff.
Right.
And she just asked me, she says, "What do you want to do with yourself?" And I just naturally came out and said community worker. And then I saw a look in her eye like, I can see
that.
you.
Yeah.
I can see that in you.
Yeah.
That's good. You should really strive to do that. And I was like, because of she saying that, it kind of sparked something in me, even though, like I said, I wanted to do something, but
it was the extra push. It was the extra push.
I just didn't know exactly
the
direction I wanted to go yet.
Yeah.
And then just off of the look and the feeling and the energy.
But even more so, like her asking you, and then like you instantly in your mind, it just coming out
naturally.
It's like just naturally just coming out. It's like at that moment, it was just confirmation to you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And once that happened, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should pursue this, right? Maybe I should take this to the next level. And like I said, I was getting older, and I said, you know what? Let me just try to apply for something. So I went to college for music, because at the time I was rapping. I'm doing my music thing, but I wanted to know more the business side, and I wanted to go to school. I wanted to get that experience. I haven't been in school at that time for like 15 years. I'm grown. I'm like early 30s at the time, and I'm like, let me just try this. So I went to Seneca first at York University.
Okay.
I took a course out there, independent music production, and graduated, got a certificate, diploma. And after that, I said to myself, I don't think I'm going to get much money off of music if I do it the way I want to do it.
Okay.
I didn't really have a team behind me. I have support, but without dollars and the right connections and et cetera, there's only so far I can go. Right?
Correct.
At the same time, I'm living real life out here. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I'm a father of 3, and things got to move. So I thought about going to school again, and I said, you know what? Maybe I should do this community worker thing. So I talked to a couple of people that I know, and they actually took the course and told me that, they're striving way better than how they were. And this is something that you've been doing, Marlon. So you need to do this. Like, you're just not getting paid for it, right? So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me see what I can do. And yeah, I just went to George Brown in 2017, did a 2-year course, graduated, and got my diploma. And yeah, ever since then, I've been working in the field,
moving up,
doing my thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Congrats, man. What inspired you? Was it the children? Was it the life you were living? Was it the community? Was it you realized that we needed help as people? What moved you?
Originally, I'm just a community guy, so I just like to.
Okay.
I'm just naturally like seeing my people. I like to
Right.
see my people them all around, happy, doing things, just enjoying life, right?
Yeah.
And at that time in my life, growing up in that community, things was very, very negative, right? And anybody who lives that kind of life and witness that kind of life, you're gonna want to see some form of a change happening around you,
Right.
at some point. And not to say I'm the person that can make the big change, but I want it to be
Don't count yourself out.
I want it to be a contribution, at least, to be.
That's the start.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to act and behave like the world you want to live in, right?
Yeah,
and
so
it starts from you.
yeah, so I think that's where it started for me, without even acknowledging that that's what it is, you know. But I guess as time went on, I would say the inspiration that kept me going was to see that nothing was being done. Right?
All talk, no action going on within the community. Or
Yeah.
did they even talk?
Well, people, you see, the thing is, I'm not going to say people never tried, because I have mentors that still live in the community that still show me, you know, support that if I needed to this day, right?
Right.
But when you have the lack of resources and support on other hands, that person or the community can only do so much to blossom. So in regards to that, now me seeing that, I say, you know what? It'd be good if I can even try to do something in regards to supporting the community. Maybe start my own thing one day, come back one day. And that's what I've been trying to do right now.
Good for you. That's,
awesome.
that's pretty selfless, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man, that's dope. I like the fact that you said that you're more a community type of person. Are you naturally, like, besides the community, are you naturally a people person?
Yeah, I'm very people person. I'm very talkative. I'm naturally a person that just goes to people and just make conversation. And
that's what's up.
Funny thing is, even if I don't really know you and stuff like that, people naturally have an aura of just being around me,
and they gravitate,
and gravitate to my energy and stuff like that, which works for me. And at the same time, I didn't even notice it at first, but I noticed as time goes on, just being my natural self, things work out in that favor, you know?
That's dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always asking people now, since you're a people person, would you rather have 5 more friends or 5 less friends? I think about what you might ask for within a friend.
Honestly, nowadays at my age, I would say less.
Ooh.
Because I have 1,000, a billion, zillion friends out there.
Right. Friends or associates, though?
I would say friends,
Okay.
but loved ones or day ones, there's a difference. There's levels to friends.
Right. So you have hierarchy to your friendship now.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Because there's people that I haven't seen in 20 years, and I'll see them today, and I still consider them a friend.
Right.
Not because they don't call me to check up on me, whatever the case may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I do have people that I know that I consider friends, and they don't feel maybe the same way I feel about them.
Okay.
So that's why I say there's levels of friendship. They consider me a friend,
right?
But how deep is the friendship?
What if it was balanced? Like, what if it was a balanced type of thing where, like, let's say, at times you would give 100, and then another time that person would give 100. Would you consider them more of a friend?
Not just because of one situation.
No, several like that, whatever, right?
It's even killer. It's like across the board.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like
you do for me, I do for you.
Yeah,
it's not a question.
So we're not really keeping score, but we know for a fact that it feels at least equal to some footing.
I didn't even call that a friend. I call that family.
Okay. Well said.
Okay.
Well said.
I can you can agree to that.
Yeah, no complaints from this side, man. Like, okay, what type of social problems you see the most that pop up in the communities that you work in?
Lack of opportunity in regards to programs. When I was younger,
you feel like there's more programs?
there definitely was, not felt. I
Yeah.
witnessed
Yeah.
that there was programs all over the city,
Mhm.
right? From different levels. And as time went on, programs are cut. Youths are more outside with nothing to do. And things have to be youths figuring out ways to be creative,
Right.
which some got positive creative, some got negative.
Right. Right.
We already know how that go down.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting when you say that because no one ever thinks about, like, you always hear them talking about like cuts to like school programming and how it affects kids.
Yeah.
But nobody really ever talks about like when they cut like the social programmings, like how it affects the kids socially who may have not been getting like the after school programs at school,
Mhm.
but at least within the community, there was resources there for them that they had.
Like, for example, when I was a child, my mom, she used to work, a lot of factory jobs and stuff back in the days, and she'd have to wake up like, I guess, 4:30,
5 o'clock.
5 in the morning.
Right,
Be
yeah.
there for like 6, 7.
And I remember those days, she would be getting ready and I wake up with her and I'm just watching her getting ready and stuff. And, I was old enough at that time to be on, like, left alone and stuff. And she would always tell me, go to the breakfast club before school starts and stuff like that, and
Right.
get some
Breakfast.
breakfast, get something, going in your system, and, get some conversation going, stuff like that. And
Oh, she would tell you to get conversation in.
like, yeah, because you're there with your friends and, you're building,
No, that's essential because I feel like even that aspect, like in today's times, I think it's kind of lacking to say that because I feel like social skills is at an all-time low now. Like even people who don't really communicate well. And this is amongst different communities and different nationalities in general.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying to you in regards to how I see it now.
Mhm.
Back then, we had more of that spread out of different areas.
Right.
And I just say they don't have that in some areas, but program cut here, program cut here. Now these areas don't get it when this area gets it, right?
Right.
So there's a discrimination from right there where it starts that you're getting lack of a support.
Mm.
You come home from school now. Mommy and daddy may not be home yet, right?
Right.
There should be an after school program. You have a community center, but the community center is shut down because the city don't want to support maybe the repairs or the programs, whatever the case may be, things are cut.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
Now your youth is outside. Who's outside of the community? Not to say the negative, but the people them who are doing whatever they're doing are like the mommy and daddies until mommy and daddy gets home.
Right.
So that's now your influence and your visual of what you see instead of being in the program where it's a safe haven
Mhm.
that gives you, the support that you need to grow and blossom.
Right.
I see, man. I get it. Because I always look at it where you see, like how you said your mom with the beginning piece, like, eat and social. And I feel like the small steps in the household have a bigger trajectory into the world. But I think that I don't want to say it might be the world we live in, but I feel like there's certain kind of traditions and aspects we just either we didn't grasp to teach our children or we just don't give a damn. Oh, they talk about it. Speak on it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a culture thing. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep it real. We're in 2023 and a lot of families still have that. But culture-wise, that's the problem. I'm not going to name the cultures out there that are actually holding it together, but us as a Black community now, I would say it got lack because my mom's from Jamaica. She's born and, she's raised here, majority of her life, but
Right.
she's a born Jamaican. I'm raised here, just like majority of my peers.
Right.
Our parents are from either the West Indies, Africa, wherever the case may be, right?
Right.
And their teaching to how we were raised is different than how us who are raised here raise our kids.
Absolutely.
Right.
So in regards to that now, that's where I see the difference, because internet is raising our kids. Phones are raising our kids. We can still do what we do, but there's, like I said, there's certain nationalities out there that a cell phone is forbidden in the house. Internet is forbidden in the house. They don't even have a television. What's a television? Right? They see these things at school, maybe. But when they go back home, it's Bible, religion studies.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
No flesh showing, etc., etc.
Right.
And this is something that these families has been doing from ancient time and still holding it together. Right? There's some, through the cracks that obviously will get influenced because this is North America, right? And times change. And some of the parents, believe it or not, they've changed too, because they got a little hip, I would say, to what's going on.
Right.
But still hold their value to the core of what needs to be taught to pass on to the generation next.
Right.
Compared to us now, I would more say, not say purposely we're doing it, but because of maybe the way we're raised here compared to our parents.
When they were raised in their own natural countries.
Exactly, because what we would say is suffering, they laugh at. Compared to what they went through.
Yeah.
And what they went through, if we went through that, a lot of our ways would be totally different of how we move. So I think all of that has a key play in.
Plays a factor. Well said, man.
Well said. Well said.
Well said.
It just dawned on me when we were talking about like just traditions and stuff like that, stuff being passed down. And I think the last funeral that we had in the send off, they always do the tradition of the singing and the dancing, and me and my sister was there, and we were looking at like our older siblings and our aunts and uncles, and like some of those hymns they were singing. I'm like, damn, who's gonna sing it for our generation? Because a lot of us don't know those hymns. And once that era is passed out, but the tradition is gonna change now at these gatherings, because there's nobody gonna be singing the songs, right? And now you're gonna have to be doing something different in order to say remembrance or celebration of life. By that time, who knows? It might be we just play whatever music that person liked and we dance to it. That's going to be our new form of celebration. But yeah, when my sister was talking about, we were thinking about saying, yo, as a kid growing up, like these songs, I'm surprised I haven't known them yet, because they've been sung at every funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like these are like traditional things, and it's just right. Once you hit North America, certain traditions like you hold on to, certain traditions you kind of let go to, and certain things you're like, yeah, but I'm here now, and it's like I don't really need to be doing those things, and that's how some of the stuff gets lost.
But do you look for like, I want to say, a replacement type of thing for like, it's kind of like, all right, let's say if in Jamaica, let's say for example, when it comes to food, Sunday is rice and peas Sunday, right? Okay, now you're not in Jamaica now, whatever. Do you even make rice and peas? Do you substitute rice and peas? Do you have wild rice? Like, do you do something to replace what you know is there? So like if the person, if let's say there is a hymns and specific songs sung when the dead is gone,
right?
What do you use to replace that? Do you praise like Biggie, like, Puffy, I'll be missing you?
Yeah, well, see
you at the crossroads?
That's just saying.
What are you doing?
But that's what I just saying now. Do we now go to like, okay, this was so and so's favorite songs when he was alive or when she was alive, create a playlist, and we're just gonna jam and celebrate to the music that they enjoyed and loved, because how else are we gonna have some sort of cohesiveness?
Well, it has to be still done though, right? Because I want to say it's still more all talk, abstract type of stuff. Like make it concrete. Like we're moving forward. Touch wood. If we lose somebody, we are going to be doing this playlist,
right? Because
we don't know this. But then if it's nothing that's still being said, then by the time the next person passes, it's nothing's there.
Sit in silence,
right?
Sit in silence, yeah,
right. Just sip your soup and just, I remember the times when, ...
If soup is still on the menu, who knows? That soup maker might have gone. These are the things that we laugh and jest, but right? But this is the things that you talk about. When traditions are not being passed down no more, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The household, the small things in the household and stuff do have a sonic boom effect into the world.
1,000%.
Right. And I think we just kind of at times tend to underlook it or not pay it no mind until it's part of the problem.
Right.
When then hopefully, great minds can probably cook up like a 5 or 10 point solution to get to it. But if not, it's just kind of left in limbo. And then everybody's pointing fingers. Do you do it? Do you do it? Do I do it? Like, who does it?
Right.
And I think that's the disparity that adds to the disparity why we're lacking certain type of things, because you're right. Like in another country, our parents or other parents and stuff could have been doing things structured like this all the way down. And that's no internet involved. You involve internet now. When does the parental aspect come in and be like, all right, look, we know this is whatever challenge you kids got going on. However, we have a tradition here. This is what we do.
Right.
And it sets a form of structure, but I feel like there's no structure.
Yeah.
There's lack of structure, so it leads to chaos. Let's get to some stuff real quick and some other things. We're gonna come back. R.I.P. to Bob Barker and his Price is Right fame and fortune. And he died at 99. For real this time.
For real this time.
For real this time. Because they've been trying to wish him to be dead a minute. I think from Drew Carey took over.
Right.
They thought he had something.
But listen, I'll be honest. That's why I thought Drew Carey took over. I thought he had passed at that point.
You're fucked.
That was I'm gonna be one of the honest people to say I already thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy cool. Rest in peace to Bob Barker.
Rest in peace, Bob Barker. Let me ask you. Back in the day, I know when it came to me when I was younger and it was a sick day, that's getting watched. Price is Right getting watched. I don't know. Was it like that here in Canada too?
Price is Right?
Yeah.
But that's an afternoon staple, bro.
Oh, see, it was a morning for us.
It was a morning?
Wasn't that like
it was a late morning.
11.
No, but say what kind of time zone you was in?
11. It was 11. It was 11. I'm trying. What came on after? Because there was a section that between the 10 and 1. Because at 1, I couldn't touch the TV if I was sick. That was a soap opera time.
So back in the day for me, I want to say, but as far as I can remember, there was like that Sally, Jesse, Raphael, Geraldo, Donahue time. Then it went to Ricky Lake.
Right.
And then if I'm there like battling whatever sickness, my mom is automatically going to Bob.
Right.
So it's like, whatever, come on down. And then that's popping off. And I just shut up and cough in silence because my mom was like, yo, you want some more honey and lime to shut you up? I got to hear these prices.
You got to hear these prices.
I'm like, are you going on the show? I even thought it was a local show. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it, I was like, I know one thing. This old dude right here with this icy white Blanco hair and this California tan always got women on deck.
Always
have women on deck. I think like accusations and things and stuff try to ruin a man's like fame. I don't care. I'm gonna ride with Bob. He ain't do all the things they thought. It was alleged.
It was alleged.
It was alleged. But I mean, hey, when you're an old guy and you have all this bread and you got the young things around you. I mean, think about when you were in high school, the girls your age didn't want you. They wanted the older man with the bread.
With the bread.
Wasn't that Bob?
That's Bob. R.I.P. Bob. R.I.P.
Come on, Slick. It's truth or false. I look at it stuff as where us as people, especially like the older we get, or let me say this, speak for myself, the older I get, a lot of the people who you remember as like staple names or household names, they're slowly but surely, like I want to say, they're not replaced at death.
Right.
But I want to say prior to, I want to say part of their legacy kind of falls off before passing.
Okay.
Right? Like I look at, let's say Sidney Poitier.
Right.
From him doing so many things, especially within the black cinema realm.
Yeah.
It was shocking to me when me being like, approaching my 40s, I was like, damn, Sidney Poitier. And then you hear a 20-year-old, who?
Right.
What?
Right.
I was like, guess who's coming to dinner? Like, no, like the Bill Cosby flicks, the Uptown Saturday Night.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Who? And I was like, do we like lose the legends and stuff like that? Does like the legendary fall off happen before they pass? Because just like Pee Wee, we lost Pee Wee Herman and stuff the other day, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like no one knew what Pee Wee was doing within that down period and stuff. And Pee Wee was still acting, just not on TV level like that.
Yeah.
Right? But eventually I feel like we get the legendary fall off happen. And then when they take us from us, and then you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah, I think unless you're like a fan of that particular person's work, then you're not really following them throughout their career. Because like a fan will, even if you fall off and start doing like some B and C movies, if it's a bona fide fan, they'll watch you do the B and C movies. Whereas, you know what I mean, the rest of the world is, you're not that blockbuster artist no more. You're replaced by the next blockbuster artist, and this is all in front of my face. And if you think of, if every generation we keep getting a next blockbuster artist, then yeah, by the time we reach the younger generation, they're not gonna know the Sidney Poitier. They barely know a Bill Cosby. The only reason they know a Bill Cosby is because he's been marred with scandals, right? So unless you're there, you only know a Betty White because Betty White is active at her age in that realm, right? So unless you're staying like that, you're gonna have that career where it's gonna diminish before you pass, and people are gonna be asking, well, who are you talking about, this person who passed? Oh, they did so-and-so, but it was before your time.
Would you watch a Denzel Tubi flick?
A Denzel
Tubi movie?
I'd love to see a Denzel, to see which producer was able to get Denzel. Which Tubi producer was able to get Denzel, and what script they're giving him. I'm watching that.
As a fan,
as a
dedicated.
Fan,
you feel the same way too?
Is Tubi not really that bad? I've been hearing about
Tubi is different. I'm still trying to get through a flick, whatever. It's called No Disrespect.
Yeah.
The shootout in the beginning might turn you off. Like,
I've seen a couple of small little clips I would see on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right.
Tubi movies. They look a little interesting.
Oh,
and you know what? I believe that if you're there, you'll find something that will be of quality. I just think that Tubi is just one of those platforms right now that they'll give you their chance. They don't business, though. You'll just get that chance. If it's put in a certain production,
yeah,
and it may have a certain value to it,
yes,
they'll run it, man. They'll run it.
Well, you know what it is? There's people that need support, right?
That's it.
That's the outlet, right?
Which is
that's
good.
it.
Which is good. If you have the production and everything done, I mean, it's just a platform where you can actually just put your finished work and stuff on.
Yeah.
And at least for the people to get to see it and stuff. Because I feel like a lot of things in the movie world-wise can get lost in YouTube. Because I feel like YouTube, yes, they do champion like extended play, like, podcasts and stuff and lengthy things like that. But when it comes to specific movies, I feel like if it's a low budget kind of film, or what I would deem a low budget, it won't get the push because everything falls into algorithms on the bigger platforms.
Yeah.
When it comes to the smaller platforms or things that are still trying to build, it's more of the views and the numbers.
Speaking of push, shout out to Nemesis. Also on Tubi, started off on YouTube. When I seen this stuff hit Tubi, I was like, yo, that's dope. Because you're right. It's like that same thing. You don't get the type of algorithms that you probably want on YouTube. But now you're here, somebody's just flicking, looking for something to watch on Tubi. You may not have even registered on YouTube. Here you are in a lineup with other stuff. And somebody's just seen it and they're like, let me watch that.
To be honest with you, that's the only thing I watched on Tubi.
I watched this. It's funny because I watched.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
I watched on YouTube. Right. The second one I was gonna watch on YouTube, but when I seen it on Tubi, I was like, shit, I might as well watch it on Tubi.
I already watched both of them before it hit Tubi.
Right.
But once I heard it was on Tubi, I didn't even know what Tubi was. Like I said.
Yeah.
I only watched that on Tubi. So I don't even know much about Tubi besides just watching that movie.
Nice.
I never watched selections of whatever films they have to provide to the people, right?
So so what I'm taking and stuff is what I'm hearing. Do you support your people's just across the board, no matter what they do, as long as it's something positive?
Yeah, I would say 99%.
99% of the time.
but
That's what's up.
I love positive things, you know what I mean? I may not agree with everything that they do that's a positive thing. Maybe what they consider positive may not be positive to me. Right?
Correct.
Right.
So that's why I said there's a percentage, but anybody who's doing anything that's, moving forward in life and, trying to do what they got to do, they got my support, man. They already know that.
Nice. Because I feel like some people, they're, I don't say selective, but they're limited on how much support they would throw. Like, they will probably give like a word of mouth kind of pass by thing, but to say like, to give a play or to give, or even like a shout out and everything, that might be too far for them, but they will support somebody they do not know.
That happens to all of us.
Yeah.
Naturally. I think that's a natural thing, to be honest with you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, for example, I grew up loving hip hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll see, I love Queensbridge. I'm not even from there.
Right.
I'm not even from that.
Side.
You know what I mean? I love QB. I love every artist almost that came out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to their music.
Right.
Right?
And last week we were with Mobb Deep, or we were with Havoc and Big Noid.
Which I wanted to go to. Was it the Battle of the
Beat
Makers?
Yeah.
I wanted to go there. Unfortunately, I was unable to go. But me just, growing up in the 90s era, listening to the music at that time and what they were living. And to me, in my heart, I felt
you can relate.
I'm living the same exact
Right.
thing in that era.
Right.
Like, there's so much artists out there. There was no bias to me. Like, I would never really say that, oh, I don't listen to that artist from there, or I don't listen to that artist from there. I was just all around
entrenched
QB.
into
Yeah.
But then let's talk about my own community now. I'm not feeling everybody that will say that are artists from the community. There's a new artists from the community now that are doing their thing, and I support.
Yeah.
But, over the last 15, 25 years and stuff, a lot of people try to do their thing. And some people I support in regards to, say, yeah, do your thing. But then some people I would more support because I more believe in what they're doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I'm a fan that, you're still willing to throw assists, and you realize that back then you didn't throw the assists. Do you feel like because you never got thrown assists, now you're doing the assists?
You know what? It's funny you said that, because maybe I was throwing an assist and I didn't acknowledge it. There's times we are throwing assists and we don't take the assist, or probably didn't even realize an assist was been given.
Right? The awareness is not there yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's big.
But in regards to that, I would say that, and also, I think I wish it was more visible, the assist, if it was given, because I would have taken it instead of just trying to figure out my own way.
Got it.
Yeah.
I want to say, as considered an OG, do you feel like in your community and the places that you work in, do you feel like you get your fair share of roses now? Or do you feel like you're still planting seeds to a tree that you might not ever see, but your name will be up in the rafters?
I think the respect that people give me that I've gotten already, it's already been given.
Okay.
Like,
and you acknowledged it.
I feel that the ones that never caught up yet maybe won't ever catch up, because that's not their lens are different.
Right.
Right? Because their lens are different, they're not there yet, like we're just saying, right? In regards to people that I've grown up with, because I used to be like heavy in, gang activity and stuff like that, and I'm known to maybe most people as an ex-gang member or somebody that's a street guy, and most of them see what I'm doing and they applaud me and salute me, and
because they see
take their hat off.
You were this to where you are now.
A lot of people want to do what I'm doing, but there's barriers.
Okay.
like I said, I went and got myself cleaned in regards to getting a pardon. I kind of took steps, like I said, in my early 30s, mid 30s,
Right.
while majority of my peers at that time were still highly, highly active in doing what they're doing.
Right.
And like I said, we all have to change one day, but it's like you may have changed early, I may have changed late. It's never too late, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Some people, they have their time frame of when they snap out of what they're doing from wrong to right?
Right.
And like I said, people message me or they'll see me in the streets and they'll tell me straight up that they respect what I do, they're proud of what I do it for us because there's people like you are doing it that we can't do it, and we're hoping that you do it on behalf of us. And I showed them that is what's being done.
Right. I think that's
thorough.
I think that's kind of one of the things that I reached out to you and wanted to have you on the show because I know where you're coming from. You know what I mean? And so it's like to be like I walk around now when I'm back in the neighborhood and I hear the unks. But I know who I know who I'm originally unks to, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And to see you to see you know where you're coming from and to see how you've taken yourself now and become like that beacon in the community. That's not only giving back, but showing an example that hey, not all paths have to go in a direction where they're going. You can change a path if you want to. So
but you are the author of your own story.
Exactly.
You don't control how it starts, but you definitely have the power and stuff to know how you want it to end. You're writing your story each day. So the decisions you make and the choices and stuff, whatever, continue on to your path. This is now dependent in your hand. What do you do with it? You took the time and stuff. You took the initiative to make sure you went about your pardon. You put yourself through formal schooling to get where you need to be. And but greatness and stuff I wish for you, my brother.
Yep. And I'm also writing a book. So it's
actually, look out for that.
It's actually going to be released for the new year.
Maybe we could have you back when you release the book.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. It's actually titled Lost and Found.
Okay.
All right.
One time I was lost, and I believe now I'm found.
Simple as that. I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that. Let me ask you one more thing real quick. Who has more assists? A point guard of the NBA or a community activist? Because I feel like a point guard only rocks with like maybe a team of like maybe at max besides themselves, 9 people.
Right.
And a community activist, they don't get the shine, but they touch so many people, kids, teenagers, adults, and then some.
So if I'm getting the question correctly, when you say assist, I'm thinking more like support and backing it.
Oh, yes.
So I would say the NBA. I would say the NBA, my friend.
Could they throw the money behind it? Is that what it is? Tell me why you chose the NBA. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Being a community worker, it's great. It's reward. It's number one, it's rewarding.
Okay. Right.
Number one, it's very rewarding. I would say when it comes to community partnership and support from other organizations or peers in your field, that needs to be more concrete in regards to doing instead of saying.
Okay.
I've noticed in my time doing this, I've met a lot of great people in a lot of great organizations that do a lot of great work.
Right.
But sometimes because they're only in a certain position, there's only a certain role that they can play in regards to getting things done or making things happen that should be happening just by naturally being the position that you are in.
Right.
Gotcha. I guess, because I guess, and we were saying stuff earlier, like a lot of pieces and a lot of jobs have politics in this place, but it's just that a lot of times, you don't really know unless you go past surface level.
Right.
Right? Because even like with the whole music thing, you thought one aspect of the music industry, and then when you went to school and seen it, now you're looking like, this is not conducive to what you thought it would have been.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, on that surface level, people don't know. Once you get in, now you know.
Because with anything in life, nowadays you would say, hard work pays off, right?
Right.
But hard work pays, but sometimes it doesn't pay off. It's more about nowadays who you know to get you where you're going.
And this is why the social skills needs to be up.
Mm-hmm.
Because the world doesn't work on what you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's about who you know now.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well said. All right, let's get into the question of the week. Are you gentlemen ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yep.
Question of the week says, is it death or is it a world change? Do you believe that there's a life after death?
I think it's a world change.
It's a world change.
Yeah.
What kind of world you think's popping off? Like, you got half regular human body, you got this genie little swiggly ghost piece and stuff looking like Casper.
Nah, I think just the same, just the same old thing what we're seeing now, just with no recollection of being here before. And hopefully you can get guided through it and get whatever you need to get right, and just and get it right so you don't have to come back.
Okay. How about you?
I'm hoping that it's life after death.
Hope
Good
is
answer.
good.
Good
Hope is
answer.
good.
Yeah.
Hope is good.
Like I have I have brothers that not biological, but I have loved ones that I grew up with, day ones that I've lost, and even family members that I've lost, people that I consider family, that I am praying and hoping that I will one day be with them again and see them. So that's why I'm saying I'm hoping that there's that form of life after death, right? But nowadays I'm feeling that once you're gone, you're gone. I don't think there's really anything that's going to happen in regards to reincarnation.
Oh.
I think once you're really dead, because I believe like once a person dies, the spirit does, float around and protects you and family and stuff like that, still be with you.
Right.
But that's it. If that happens, how are you reincarnated again to be something else?
I get what you're saying.
Right.
I feel, for me, I don't feel like it's a world change. I just feel like it's a body change. So I feel like if, let's say, said person is to pass, let's say, August 1st, 2023, right? I feel like they will be reincarnated and stuff as like maybe a newborn child somewhere with the same essence. Because I feel like there's certain people and stuff like the eyes are the window to the soul.
Right.
So I feel like some people and stuff you can look and be like, yo, I feel like you've been here before. Because I heard a lot of people always say that to like some kids or some other people and stuff like, yo, this is not your first rodeo and stuff here. And I feel like the more you go along and learn these, I want to say real lessons, because I feel like humans make things more complex than what they need to be. It comes to a point like once you get it, now you're gone. So karma, for example, karma is like if you don't get it right, you keep coming back until you get it right.
Right.
And I feel like it's more of a concept and stuff towards that.
Right.
For me. So I don't think it's a world change. I think it's just all right, you ain't get this right. We're going to pick up and stuff. You're going to be a baby born September 1st,
right,
2023. Let's hope you get this shit together and stuff this time. Because I feel like there's certain times stuff like for myself, I might have been, I don't know.
Let me ask you both a question. I think I know where you're going with this. I want to say, so I was waiting for you to finish.
Jump in.
Have you both ever, I don't know if it's in a dream or you just randomly just having a thought, but have you ever had like internal mental vision of you being placed somewhere that have nothing to do with your real life.
Bingo.
That's going on right now.
That.
And you're like, where am I? Or what's
Who was
going on
that? Who
here?
was that?
Right.
What was that?
Right.
And then you snap back.
And then you snap into your real
your regular,
real,
your regular that.
Yeah.
I feel like those and stuff are like parts and stuff. Because all right, according to what neuroscientists say, we only use 10% of our brain.
Right.
I feel like every time we've lived a life like that, we've put away a little piece of stuff of it in there. The brain is the memory jungle. Things go in and they don't come out.
Right.
So now you might have this clip of you like at World War II in battle or something like that.
or you're a knight.
Yeah, you're
yeah.
medieval armor and everything. Yeah, exactly, just that. And then you snap back and stuff, whatever. So now you're watching Braveheart. Now you're like, yo, I feel that. I can live that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So that's why I feel like, I don't know if it's a world change. I just feel like, you didn't get it right at that time, or there's something you missed.
I always thought of this and think of this, because this is the thought of this is trippy, right? They say, and I think they even based off one of those cartoon movies off of it. That souls are just waiting for babies to be born, so they can now. It's like, okay, this is my way back into the world. That's fresh baby born. This is my body. I jump in it now. I come in and inhabit this body now. So they say everybody has a soul, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case now, right? What's gonna start happening when they start creating these artificial humans? Where the soul's gonna come from? Are the souls gonna jump into these artificial humans, or are these artificial humans just not gonna have no souls?
I mean, if you're gonna play with some futuristic shit, I would say, well, let's think about this. What if everything tied to your name, right? Online. Let's say your social medias, all the platforms you've been on and stuff, whatever, some of your thoughts, some of your photos and everything like that, you can now download into an AI. I want to say it's still you.
Right.
But I think the essential soul piece and stuff, whatever, is still not there.
Right.
1,000%. Yeah.
Right.
So I would feel it'd be more on that laneway and stuff of that. To me, I don't got all the answers though.
So this is why they have those movies that prep us for what's to come.
How
much do you want to upload to the world about you now?
It's so funny because like the argument now in arts and entertainment, like the whole thing of AI creating music, but it's funny because we all know that when somebody creates a piece of music, a lot of that is not just the technical ability and the theory that goes behind. A good portion of that is that person's soul that he's pouring into that music.
Of course.
Right? And and a lot of times you feel that through the music.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm like, yeah, these AIs, they know the technical stuff. They can do that very well, but where are they going to get the soul to put into it? That, I think, is going to be the difference for a while.
Good point.
Well said. That's what's up, man.
Good point.
You guys ready for some Ask the Sons questions?
Ready.
Yeah.
All right. First Ask the Sons question comes from Starry-Knight. If your dick could make a sound every time you got hard, what sound would it make? Let's hear this, Smooth. I want to hear your shit because your mind goes far, and you're a music man too.
Right. That's calling all the females.
What the hell is that?
It's gonna call. It's gonna make the mating call. And what else is gonna do?
Oh, that's your.
What else is it gonna do, Marv?
Kind of, I'm not even mad at that now. I'm not even mad at that now. When you put the mating call to it, whatever. Sling, what you got, man? Let me hear yours. Oh, see, I like that. I was thinking Transformers on air. So you know, it's rock hard ready now or whatever, you know?
The transformer.
That transform. I went from like chill to like business. Yo.
That was funny.
I'm not mad at that, man. I'm not mad. Not at all. Next question comes from Limit-Breaka. What's really dangerous, but everyone treats like it's safe? I said the Carney Festival rides and stuff, whatever, those little bootleg fairs. Mm-hmm. But you know the thing I thought about and stuff too when I was telling you guys? Driving.
I thought about driving too.
We take driving so lightly when there's like driving fatalities and stuff on the road like every day.
Yeah.
And just even a country. Mm-hmm. Every day there's a driving fatality and stuff, whatever, right? And I always kind of hope for the best. Like, to be honest, I always say, worst case scenario, I talk to God is my bestie because I talk to God every morning.
Right.
And so before I get ready to go out and to go for work and everything, I always like, yo, God, guide and protect the car that I'm in. And some mornings and stuff, if I'm on the road to see like a horrific accident or anything like that, like I think one day I was leaving here after recording.
Yeah.
I went to go see a friend and I seen like legit fire trucks and stuff trying to out of the car and stuff on fire. And I'm like, I hope that person got out.
Right.
I hope it was nothing like that, you know?
For sure.
But we just take it so lightly because somebody's like, oh, I'm going to go to such and such's house. A lot can happen. So for me, driving is one of them too. So you got driving too, Smooth? What about you, Sling?
Honestly, I think for myself, I would say the internet.
Talk about it.
A lot of people think it's very safe, but it's actually very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Our kids.
Yeah, that's facts. I'm not mad at that.
Our kids are being watched, being lured into things behind our backs. A lot of fake accounts. A lot of people doing a lot of weird stuff. A lot of people setting up people to get killed, et cetera, right? But it's like a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Because if you utilize it the right way or the correct way that I feel it was supposed to be made for, then you can get great benefits. But, like anything out there, people will find, things that they can dissect.
Right.
Or make it work for them.
I mean, make it work for them, right?
Say it all the time. The same fire that keeps you warm is the same fire that you can use and burn somebody else with.
Pretty much, right? So that's how I'm looking at it for that question. I think the internet is something that's very dangerous, but a lot of people think that it's very safe because, we have this tool that we can utilize. And
we have this feature and stuff to protect your kids, but people are still getting lured in.
Yep.
Well said. Okay, we got the last one coming up. Last one comes from Pleasing Pudding. What would you do if you woke up as a girl? We'll start with you, Sling. We've had a question like this before. I'm assuming this is a newer listener. We appreciate you. But I already know where I'm going with this because I'm going to still stand on all 10 toes.
Still stand on 10 toes.
What would I do?
So you went to bed tonight. You woke up as a woman. What would you do?
I think I'm in a dream, number one. To be honest with you, I don't know what I would do.
You're not playing with the equipment? Because I am. I'm gonna play with the equipment.
You gonna play with the equipment?
Fam, I got no tits.
What equipment? What are you talking about? you guys gotta let me know what you're talking about.
Well, me, I'm looking at like the equipment. I'm like, all right, no titties. I go to bed. I wake up with breasts, dick gone. Now I have vagina.
I get what you're saying. So you're gonna touch what was new.
What's new?
So that's the first thing you're gonna do?
I mean, I'm in the bed. I might as well.
You're gonna wake up and say, "Holy, what's this?"
I think
the best part of waking up.
I think the very first thing I would do is freak out.
I would freak out slightly, but I would just do this. I'm like, this can't be happening, and I'll look around the room to be like, I am home.
Right.
What the hell?
I will tell you what I would think happened to me. I would think that somebody knocked me out, tried to put me as a male that wants to be a woman.
Oh, like a transformer.
Okay.
A real transformer.
Okay, right.
I gotta care for my words, right?
Yeah. Right. We've done that dance several times on here. We've learned how to dance on the tightrope.
But I would have felt, knowing that mentally, that I am a man and I've always been a man, to wake up now, that I would think some kind of thing like that took place.
Mm-hmm.
But I would freak out because knowingly that I'm a man now turning into a woman.
And you had no power over it, and they did this to you.
This is not normal, and I'm going to be tripping.
Well said.
I think after I get over my initial shock and get through the tripping stage, I'm going out to a road and seeing how much money I can scam.
Right? Come on, dog.
If I have one day, I'm trying to find how much boops can take me out and eat to see how these women live.
Boops means sugar daddy to the ones that don't speak patois.
Some of these women, man.
I wouldn't want to be a woman, man.
You said that.
I'm happy that I'm a man. I love women. I love you, women.
I love them
but
too, man.
I would never, ever want to be one, for the fact that I see, and I think we all have seen, if we've had like women's in our life, that, they go through a lot just as in general being a woman. You know what I mean? Like, we as men, we go through a lot, but certain physical things that we don't have to do every month, and
facts. That was the thing. That was the thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake up and
I don't
want Ant Flow happen. I was like, no, I don't want none of that. That's why I was like, let's play it safe here. Let's stay a man.
And the experience of pushing on a baby. Like, I love being a dad.
Yeah.
Kids, I love you. You already know. But for me to actually, I've witnessed my baby mother push out my kids.
Right.
I don't want to go through that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, a lot of women, they continue to do it. It's just a thing that some women will do forever. And I know some females out there that I know only has one.
Right.
And I know women that have 5.
Well, I mean, they say after like the first couple, it gets easy. But I'm saying there's still powerhouses. There's still powerhouses in my world.
Who said that?
No, they say that maybe it doesn't get easier. They're probably better prepared, better trained. And and in their mind it's easier, but it still looks like a struggle to me.
Like I said, I nah.
Yeah, he said he was. I seen both of my kids being born too. He says he ain't gonna.
No. I'm not looking. So my son, he C-section.
Okay.
He was C-section.
So there is a difference.
Yeah. Oh, there's a. I think if I was to ever look, I don't know if the love I have for vagina might be the same, because I think certain things might be like, well, how am I gonna go into that now? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, they were doing their thing. Sheet was up. I'm like, I'm here to hold your hand and motivate you and support you.
Yes.
And that's it. And then when everything is done, I'm like, all right, now we can talk your shit. Hey, everything's still tight up. Just keep it pushing. Like, hey.
Keep it pushing. You're the ones there. For real. I got you.
Okay. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for sending the questions, man. We appreciate you. And Sling, I hope you enjoyed the questions from the fans.
Yeah, man, for sure.
All right, man. We are here at the end with the So Say the Sons for the week. Little motivation to help people get through the week. You ready, Smooth? You ready?
Ready.
So Say the Sons this week says, don't look down on anyone unless you're helping them up.
So say
the Sons. I feel like a lot of times we don't really extenuate that hand, that helping hand and stuff too many times and stuff in today's world, what I see.
Right.
Mhm.
And a lot of times people are so quick to pass judgment when they don't know why the circumstance or why the situation took place.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Right? So that's So Say the Sons for this week.
Cool.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. We thank you. We appreciate you for coming through, sliding to tell people how to find you, tell the people, your church announcements, anything you got
Yeah, 'cause,
going on besides the book coming up.
Right, because I mean, your organization, you do like
They can't stop, won't stop.
toy drives, clothing
Yeah.
drives. So let the people know how they can reach out to yourself and the organization if they want to donate.
Well, first and foremost, I have a website. It's called the Morgridge Foundation, right? You can find it on internet. You can Google it. Just type the Morgridge Foundation.
Mhm.
You'll find it. They'll see two different mortgage foundations. You'll probably see Mortgage Family Foundation. That is not me, right?
Okay.
It's the Mortgage Foundation.ca, right? If it's a website, you can go on Instagram and hit me up under @Sling Dadz or Sling_Dadz, I should say. SLING_DADZ. Yeah, I do a lot, man. I do a lot. I partner with a lot of people, you know what I mean? In regards to just doing work, anybody can reach out to me in regards to, supporting what they're doing as well. Yeah, like I told you guys, I have a book coming out that's
Mhm.
supposed to be out for beginning of 2024 called Lost and Found. It's basically just me telling about my life story from, being born in Lawrence Heights, aka the jungle,
Mhm.
and raised in the Trithwy Drive housing complex, and things that I went through, becoming a diabetic, being a father of 2 autism boys, and becoming a community worker.
Nice.
There's a lot, that in a nutshell, there's a lot, that I've went through, and I feel that my story can help a lot of people. So this is
That's
the
what's
reason
up.
why I'm doing it.
That's
We
what's up.
appreciate you for that.
We appreciate it.
You
Like I
can't
said-
hear
like
what
I
you
said,
don't reveal, right?
And like I said, when it's ready to drop, you're more than welcome to come back and sit down. We'll promote it.
Yeah.
And keep it pushing.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on the podcast as
Anytime.
well.
No,
man.
Anytime,
yeah,
man,
like-
anytime.
Like I said, man, like I've known you, and every time I come on the IG and I see the post and I see what you're doing,
Mhm.
it's very inspirational to me to know that some of the youngest that I know when I was a youth have now become men, and now are using not only their knowledge but their platform to help others and change other lives, because you are doing that. You are help changing lives.
Yeah, man. I respect that and I appreciate that still.
I
Straight
might
from the
just be
heart, you know
super
what I mean?
biased, but I kind of dig that anybody that's willing to pour back into where they come from
Yeah.
is always heroes and stuff in my book. I look at it stuff like those are the real superheroes and stuff, because you've seen the world and stuff, whatever, like what it could be without, but there's no place like home.
This is the reason why I can't stop going back. You know what I mean? Because I don't live in that community anymore.
Correct.
Right? I live actually on the opposite side of the city. But at the same time, it's like, if I don't do it, who's going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that
That's
part
it.
of me that's still there. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody on the south side of Jane, Chicheway, all of that, North York section, Weston Road, all of that, you know what I mean? It's always love. And I appreciate y'all for, making me come in the community and do my thing too, you know what I mean?
That's what's up, man.
Of course.
All right, people, you know how to find us. All streaming platforms, Podical Sons Podcast, podicalsons.com, and YouTube. Search us, see us. You can see us all. Once again, thank you for listening to the Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace.
Respect.
The Podical Sons with Not Your Average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.